Okay, so we're going to start our practice today lying on our backs. So you can come right down onto the ground, lying down. And for the beginning of our practice, let's keep our knees bent and just free your arms as long as it's comfortable above the head with slightly bent elbows. And let the knees wave side to side, and we'll just take some opening breaths here, rolling one direction and the other. And you might find little articulations of hands or muscles of the face. So the idea here is just to find long, deep breaths supporting this release of the body onto the ground. We'll just do a little bit of relaxation practice, and then we'll find our opening together today. But just keep flushing out the body. If it's helpful for you, or it feels good to extend the arms, reaching along the earth behind you, that can be very nice in this pose. And make sure you get into opening muscles of the face. You can even take hands to the top of the head and do a little rubbing, just stretching and flushing out any sleepy or tired energy, any dull or stressful energy. Getting a little massage of the top of the scalp. Try shifting the skin a little bit by sort of anchoring fingers into the scalp and just moving the skin away from being so tightly bound to the skull. When it's natural for you to take knees in towards the chest, we'll just go ahead and roll ourselves up into a little ball. And as much as your body allows you to, go ahead and hug the body and just roll side to side. Paying attention to the kidneys. Nice deep breath coming in through the nose. If there's a lot of energy to be released in the body, exhale through the mouth. Otherwise, you can find a steady breath, inhaling through nose, exhaling through nose. And then you could soften to one side, and we'll extend one leg out as far as it can go, reaching out nice and long, and opposite arm is, our leg is up into the chest. Good. And then switch sides as you're ready to. So extending one leg fully, opposite leg up towards the chest. Good, let's exchange again. This time, lift your head, your forehead to meet up towards your knee, greeting a wakefulness in your practice. Nice deep breath in. And then exhaling, retracting head to the ground, switching knees, and coming right to the other side. So inhaling to lift. Squeezing into the belly muscles a little bit, waking the body. Let's go right to the other side. Head drops in between. Extended leg rests on the ground. Inhale, find you rising. This time when you rise, circle the ankle. Just hang out here for a few moments. Tuck the chin towards the chest. You're opening throat muscles, throat center, and then release the head. Last time on the other side. Inhaling to rise, circle the ankle out. Tucking the chin makes it much easier to hold the head in this way. And then release. We'll send head to the earth and both knees towards the chest. One hand on each of the knees for a little circling here. So stirring the knees into the hips, helping to open into the hips. If you have very flexible hips, just keep the knees open and rock them up and down. If the hips are sensitive, circle them until they're ready to open. Relax the muscles of the face. You can smile to the sky as you practice the bliss and the joy of liberating tension. Circle opposite direction. Make sure you get into the feet too. You might take a moment just to wiggle toes, circle ankles. Good, let's seal the feet down onto the ground. Inhaling, sending arms right up above the heart center into steeple position. Let's go ahead and double inhale and open the arms to the earth. Squeeze the hands into fists and then release. Again. And release. So you're tensing the arms like you're pulling a rubber band apart and then releasing gentle. One more time. And exhale. All right, let's take both hands to the belly. Just close the eyes. Our opening pranayama. When you inhale, actively push the belly out. Nice big round belly. Draw up into the chest. Then release the breath out. So again, a little pressure of the hands can encourage this lift. Inhaling, push into the hands as you round the belly out. Lift up through the ribs, the chest. Then release out. Some of us may like to use our hands to guide the breath. So just face your palms up towards your face and start down at the hips. And you inhale and fill the body, push the belly out, expand into the ribs, reach the arms up overhead, and then circle them like a snow angel out nice and wide and down. Do it again, inhaling. Push the belly out first. Expand around on exhale, arms coming down. One more time. Push off of soles of the feet this time. Inhale, reach, reach, reach as far as you can. And then come all the way around on exhale. All right, let's just sweep the knees side to side. So yawning in your practice is a great indication of releasing energy in the body. You're clearing out these old spaces to draw fresh supply of blood into the body. Let's go ahead and pause with feet down onto the earth. You could face your palms down for this next pose. We're going to come into bridge pose. So when you're ready, you push off soles of the feet, squeezing thighs, squeezing glutes, and we lift the hips. Push off of the soles so that the weight centers on the upper back. The affirmation, my every thought is a bridge to divine grace. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. When you're ready to come down, you just lower right down to the ground. Good, let's take hands and just rub the thighs a couple times. You might need to come on the tips of toes to reach the legs, and then try outsides of the legs. If you can get to the back of the thigh, maybe release knees towards the chest and just rub the back of the thigh. All right, we're going to settle right foot down and just begin to draw the left leg towards the body, slowly walking our hands up that leg. And you push into your low spine so your belly goes down so that you can lift that leg a little higher. Your hips might even lift just a little and circle at the ankle, all those sensitive ankle muscles, getting a nice opening. You can rub the sides of your leg, or maybe hold the leg with one arm and rub the back of the knee. Good, smile up toward your leg, sending little whispers of love to the muscles, to the bones. Good, let's settle that side right onto our bent knee, and we're going to reach and thread our hands behind the right leg. So you're in a figure four pose, or threading pose, and just circle the ankle of the right foot a couple of times here and reverse the direction. Good, and then flex the toes up towards the knee on both sides and take a little rocking side to side just to soothe any muscles in our hips. Relax the shoulders, heart, and throat. Lift your inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows, looking upward. If you'd like, you can straighten the right leg this time and slowly walk the hands up the right leg. And you may even draw that foot towards the face a little more. Just be gentle. It's still early in the practice. Breathing nice, supportive breath. And when you're done, you just slowly release that right foot back and down to the earth. Both feet settle down. Let's go ahead and inhale. Sweep the hands underneath the space of the hips, lifting into bridge pose. Interlace your fingers and maybe roll the muscles of the shoulders underneath. This will give you extra lift in the chest. Keep pressing out of soles of the feet. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. Affirming your soul qualities one more time. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. Stay another breath. Listen for the exhale. Then we can descend back and down onto the earth. So we'll leave our left foot down and send right foot up this time. So you're going to want to push down, especially on the center of the back here, maybe low spine if you can, and just free this right foot to spiral in its ankle. Give some love to this leg, rubbing, maybe holding one hand, rubbing with the other. Nice deep breath. Make sure you get outside of the leg too, maybe even around the inside. Same thing, just rejoicing at the thought of good health in your body and your limbs, nice strong legs, vital. And you might take a point of the toes, start to straighten the leg as much as it'll allow, but careful early in the practice, we'll bend the knee and coming into our threading pose. Fingers around backside of the left leg, just free the left ankle for a few rounds. And then find toes dorsiflexing back towards the knee. Good. And all the while your right elbow aids if it's anywhere close to the right thigh or knee and pushing that part of the body out, and do a little rocking just to soothe into the hips. Inner gaze lifting with calm, steady breath. Be ever watchful of the inner narrative. Better just to affirm, I am bliss, I am joy, than to allow idle thoughts to steal you away. If you can straighten your left leg a little more, feel free to walk up that leg a little bit. Some of us can even sort of roll onto the upper back a little here. Just be gentle. Nice deep breath, holding any part of this leg that you can. All right, beautiful job, everyone. You can lower down as you're ready. Just go ahead and unstep that right foot down to the ground, and then extend right leg nice and long. And once more, let's draw the left knee in towards the chest. Big hugging of this leg. We'll inhale and lift our forehead towards the knee. Tuck the chin to keep the neck safe in the pose. Nice deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Good, let's roll that knee right over to our right side. So just roll, roll, roll until both arms roll over onto the side. And then you can trace left arm back and over and extend out nice and wide. Good. Nice deep breathing in the pose, repeating the affirmation, I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Nice deep breath. Here's the actual affirmation. I thought that sounded funny. I open to the flow of God's life within me. So finding the divine flow beyond just the body temple pouring into your body. I open to the flow of God's life within me. All right, as much as we might like to stay here, let's press on in our practice. So closing down the left arm and then holding onto the leg, you might roll back and we'll take both knees in towards the chest. Let them separate a little and just rock side to side a bit here. And then extend left leg nice and long, pushing through heel to get full extension and draw the right knee right over the chest. When you're ready to roll the whole body onto the left side, both arms, then you might slide that right hand back towards the heart or towards the shoulder. The idea is to get the knee to rest on the ground. Repeating the affirmation, I open to the flow of God's life within me. And what that might feel like to feel the cosmic current pouring into your body, rejuvenating cells like little batteries recharging. I open to the flow of God's life within me. Sending breath down into the belly. I open to the flow of God's life within me. Letting the breath slow down, closing down the eyes, maybe for just a round here. We'll come back to this pose perhaps later in the practice. Right arm is going to reach back over towards the left side, and then holding onto your right leg, just roll the body back into a neutral position. Let's come right into happy baby pose. So you can hold on the backs of the thighs, backs of calves or knees. Some of us make it to ankles or feet. Do a little rocking side to side. And don't worry if you tip over, just laugh about it, have a good time. Remember, this is called a happy baby pose, not a serious baby.
Cranky baby.
Or a cranky baby. Oh, nice deep breath.
Oops.
Good. Wiggling the toes a couple times. Good. Deep breathing here. All right, to relieve the hips of this deep posture, let's just very gently join the feet together and stay with me. See if you can push your knees out. So you're like, it's like a butterfly pose on your back, and we'll give the hips a break. And then inhale, draw the knees back and separate the feet and open back up. And all of a sudden you're back into this depth work in the hips. Nice, long, supportive breaths. All right, feet together, push the knees out and away. And then if you can, lower feet down as knees come back to neutral. Good, let's inhale and sweep the hips up just to really fortify the spine in our bridge pose. You can interlace fingers underneath the body if you'd like. Just squeeze the thighs and push up onto the upper back. It's an active pose. Squeezing the body, feeling energy rising up the spine to the point between the two eyebrows. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. My every thought is a bridge to divine grace. Take one more deep breath, squeezing the body, flushing out tired energy, and then let's exhale, and we'll just lay our hips back and down onto the earth. Good, you can roll the knees off to the side and the arms. We're going to press up. Let the head be the last part of the body to rise. So peel your way up off the ground, and then we'll slowly come into our seat. Let's extend both legs out nice and long. Send hands behind you and just drum the legs a little here. Drumming the legs. Nice deep breathing. Nice blood flow into the legs. All right, let's go ahead and reach forward and we'll gather. It doesn't matter which leg, just choose one of them. We're gonna pull that leg up towards the body. Let your knee turn out towards the ground. Coming into Janu Shirasana pose. When you're ready, go ahead and inhale, send the arms up into the sky. And exhale, hands into the heart, and just walk your way forwards here. So the idea is really to keep the heart open towards this front extended leg. Nice deep breathing. This is called head to knee pose. That may not be our reality, but that's the direction we're going. So take some moments to release the head towards the knee. The affirmation. Remember, you can repeat these affirmations out loud with me, or just feel that my voice is yours. Left and right and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Left and right and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Take one more breath, relaxing the heart forwards. Left and right and all around, life's harmonies are mine. Let's slowly begin to walk our way back up. So some of us might just send our hands behind us and we'll sit with a tall spine and watch the rest of the class try to get into this next pose. So it's not available to everyone's body, but it is a fun pose to try. So go ahead and wrap your fingers around your big toe and see if you can step your foot out just a little. If you were in class last night, we tried this one. It's called pulling the bow pose. Your other hand is reaching towards your foot. It might just lay on the leg. If you can get your foot, hold your foot. All right, here's the fun part. See if you can lift your foot into your hand a little bit. Pulling the bow pose. Then you might lift your elbow, just like you would in pulling a bow, and you pull that foot back as much as you can. It's a will strengthening pose, so keep your gaze straight forward with lots of intention. Strengthening the will. Nice deep breathing. Careful not to pull the toe off of the foot. If you push the toe against the fingers, binding around them, it will create a little energy lock. All right, good. Let's see, can we come to the alternate version? Take that foot on top of the lap. This might be as far as some of us go. Others of us can hold onto the outside of the foot and we can lift it and we reach the other arm forward. So this is the alternate version of our pulling the bow pose. Just smile at yourself wherever you get into this pose. It's kind of a pretzel twist. And know that that's perfect today. All right, let's release that side down. We'll take both feet together. And we'll just go ahead and take a little rocking, get nice and comfortable, and feel like you're sitting up onto the edge of your chair. And then we'll hold our feet together and just very gently release the head forwards. The affirmation, secure in myself, I accept whatever is. So bowing forward, weight is moving towards the feet. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Even as you bow the head, lift the inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. Let's just take a little rocking side to side, even as the head is bowed forwards. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. An affirmation of contentment. All right, whatever the other side is for you in this practice, just draw the knees together and we'll extend legs so that we're onto the other side. You might begin to open that knee down. We'll come into our Janu Shirasana pose, inhaling arms all the way up. Good, and then exhale down through the heart. And you just start to walk yourself forwards here. Start with chest wide open. This is the active phase of the pose. And then when you exhale, just fold the head down as far as it's ready to go. You might play with this, inhaling, lifting the crown of the head nice and long through the spine, and then exhaling to bow forwards. Left and right and all around, life's harmonies are mine. Try flexing the toes of the extended leg to activate more sensation, or if you need less, point the toes. Just a few more moments wandering into the unknown of the pose. Okay, now for a little fun, when you start to come up, just very gentle. So you might set your hands behind you and just stay tall on your spine. And again, you can watch us try to get into these fun poses here. If you're wanting to come with, you just very gently start by finding your fingers around your big toe. You're going to reach your other hand down the leg. If you can get to the foot, that's where this pose is headed. And then you start to sort of kick into the fingers and lift your foot up as high as it'll go. So to the best of your capacity, sit tall and keep lifting as far back as you can go. Lift the elbow a little, just like you're pulling on the string of a bow. Nice deep breathing, and look straight ahead with calm concentration, determined will, and feel that sense of willpower strengthening in your body, mind, and spirit. Nice deep breath. Good, relaxing any muscles that you don't need to hold the pose. We're going to transition into the alternate. So you can either lay the leg just on the lap here. This might only be available for some of our bodies. If you can get here, take the outside edge of your foot, send opposite arm, and you just lift that leg a little bit higher so that you're sort of balanced in here. Just another will strengthening pose. We're constantly using our willpower. Think like every cell in your body is aligned for the same common good of holding this position. And then relieving, then we'll settle that foot down to the ground. Let's just come into our bound angle or bound pose here of butterfly. So feet together, knees nice and wide. And if you can, free one hand to the side, and we'll just reach up and over. So it doesn't matter how much range you have here, just wander into your version of the pose. Palm facing down will give you more length. And then reach over to the other side. Good, stretching all those little muscles of the side ribs. Be sure to breathe here. Last time over to this side. And then we'll just come to neutral. Let's bow the head forwards. If you need to, slide your feet out away from the hips, and this will give you more room to fold forwards. The closer the feet are to the body, the more challenging the posture becomes. And just close the eyes and listen intently to these words and feel their reality in your heart. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Energy at the point between the two eyebrows. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Okay, very gently, we'll work our way back up here. So we're back to center. You can fold your knees up. We're just going to sweep the feet off to the side to come up onto hands and knees. And just take a moment here to extend one leg at a time. Just reach it all the way back. And stand the other side, sort of checking the length of the legs, one more each time. Other side. Beautiful. We're going to come into our pigeon pose. So hands are underneath your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath. Curl toes underneath behind the body. And we're going to press our hips up to the sky first into downward facing dog. Step big toes together. And start with whatever side you'd like. Send one foot reaching all the way back behind you. It can be just an inch off the ground. It can be way into the sky. And we'll draw that knee all the way up between the hands. And then settling down as you're ready to. So just let the back knee connect with the ground. We might have varying degrees of flexibility. And then swing the foot out to the side only if your body allows it to. And then you settle into your pigeon pose. Remember, yoga is a directional practice in the sense that we are just working into the direction that is best for our bodies. You can roll your shoulders down and back. What I mean by that is you do not have to look like anybody else. It's just the next best posture for you. All right, relaxing. And with a smile, we'll repeat the affirmation for pigeon pose. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Whenever you're ready, you can lower down to rest, taking the relaxation aspect of the pose. If you can come onto forearms, feel free, but you just need to lower the head and back of the neck. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. All right, we won't stay too long in the relaxation phase. Let's come back up for one more time in the active phase to repeat the affirmation with rising energy through the spine. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Nice steady gaze. All right. We're going to very gently lower the heart so that we can put pressure into the hands. Lift your back knee off the ground. Then you can scoot yourself out of the pose, hips right up to the sky. Take a little pedaling side to side. Downward facing dog affirmation. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Smile at your thighs. Smile at your thighs. All right, when you're ready for the other side, big toes join together and send that opposite foot way up into the sky as far back as it'll go. Remember, it can be an inch, it can be right up into the ceiling. And then you draw that knee up and in between the hands and we'll lay down. So ankle underneath the hips is the easiest way to slide into this pose. If you'd like to send it off to the side, it's a little more challenging. Keep those toes flexed. Back toes can untuck if they need to. If you'd like, you can come on the tips of the fingers, and this really strengthens the hands. Good to have strong hands in this world. Roll shoulders down and back. And lift in the chest. Nice deep breathing. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Turn the inner gaze upward. Finding yourself wholly present in this eternal moment. Now you be the judge when you're ready to lower down. Just listen for the exhale, and you can slowly just bow the head. If you can come down onto forearms, wonderful. Come down onto forearms and rest. If the sensation is ever too much in this particular pose, just rock side to side a little or wiggle the muscles of the face. Remember, the relaxation phase is not an opportunity just to tune out or blank out in your practice, but is active in the sense that we are feeling what's happening, feeling the effect of the pose. Let's slowly rise out, and we'll take one round of our affirmation in the lifted version of the pose. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Chin gently tucked, crown is tall. Okay, when you're ready to release, just bend the elbows and shift the weight onto the hands. Lift your back knee and then sneak the folded leg out from underneath. Let's just take a little pedal in our downward facing dog. That means bending one knee, straightening opposite leg. Look towards your lap. You can shake your head yes a couple of times here. Good. And then let's come down into child's pose. So practitioner's choice. Easy version is knees close together. Some of us like to take our knees really wide apart. And you just untuck the toes and lay the body down. So find what works for you in your practice. Nice deep breathing. Close the eyes. And feel the great channel of your spine wide open as energy is flowing back up to the brain. This posture is an opportunity to feel as the body is finding a new equilibrium with greater energy and deeper peace in your internal environment. There is recalibrating happening. Staying awake and alive in your practice. Feel all the muscles relaxing and the waves of bliss that come with this deep peace within. We're going to gently rise into a hare pose, continuing this forward fold pattern. So when you rise up, just tuck your toes underneath. We're going to reach back for our heels, and then you bow your head towards the earth and really pull on the heels and round the back. There should be no heavy weight on the head. Light pressure is okay. And your forehead keeps coming closer towards your knees. Repeating the affirmation, I am master of my energy. I am master of myself. I am master of my energy. I am master of myself. I am master of my energy. I am master of myself. And then slowly you can rise out of this pose and untuck the feet, and we'll just sit over the ankles for a moment here. I know this can be a challenging pose for many of us. Just take a moment. If toes need to be tucked under, tuck them back. Just so you can feel that experience of the energy rising through your spine. Good. Let's come off the ankles. We'll come right up onto the knees. Good. All right. Let's just take hands in front of the heart center and we'll find some double breathing here. And releasing. One more time. Good. Hands into the heart. And we'll come into our camel pose. So a couple options here. You can just take your hands to your kidneys, do a little massaging. Little circles, great way. Even soft drumming. Just be gentle. Good. Waking the kidneys up. Fingertips pointing down the back here. So hands are resting on the top of the hips, palms that is, fingers pointing down. Just go ahead and release your hips forward a little more. It'll cause you to squeeze your glutes a little. Then think front side of the body, you're going to lift through the solar plexus, lift through the heart, and this should give you plenty of back bend to explore in your practice. If you're curious as to how to get into the full version of camel pose, you tuck toes underneath, you sit back and down and touch your heels, and then just lift with strength of legs and balance on the hands. The furthest we should be going back in our camel pose is to draw the chin towards the chest and maybe look towards the sky. Very few of us are prepared to release the back of our neck and our head down. If you do desire to do this, scrunch your shoulders close together to make a little nest for the head to release backwards. A nice deep, deep breathing here. The affirmation with calm faith, I open to thy light. With calm faith, I open to thy light. All right. All positions lead us looking down and releasing our hips back towards our feet. We're going to very gently curl toes underneath and extend our hips up to the sky and just walk ourselves into a forward folding pose. Bend the knees as much as you need to. This is going to be our counter pose. Feel free to bend one knee and then the other just to flush out the legs. In case they feel a little stiff, rub backs of the legs if you have free hands to do so. Shake the head, yes. Shift weight on the ball of the foot. The affirmation for forward fold. Nothing on earth can hold me. Nothing on earth can hold me. I personally like to circle my head in this pose. Wonderful way to release all those little muscles of the throat. Nothing on earth can hold me. You might try the active phase of this pose, inhaling, lifting halfway, and then exhaling and pouring back and down. Take a few rounds if you'd like, inhaling to rise, exhaling to fold yourself forwards. Maybe one more round. Bend the knees if needed. Exhale, forward fold. Good, so we're gonna go ahead and just walk ourselves back down to the ground. If you wanna take a downward facing dog, now's a good time. If you need to rest, come right into child's pose and just rest. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. All right, very gentle. We'll lower down onto knees. Walk hands a little further and we'll lower down onto our belly. I'm going to come all the way down to the ground here. And then take hands underneath your face and then sort of press the elbows underneath your shoulders, lifting nice and tall. Good. Let's just stay here. We'll use this instead of cobra pose today. Big toes are pointing, aligned if possible. There's an active rising energy in the pose. Looking to the point between the two eyebrows, we'll repeat the affirmation. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. Feel the heart open. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. Some of us can bend our knees. We might experiment with bending knees and pointing toes. Just careful that it doesn't put too much weight on the low back. Step knees a little bit wider if you're coming here. Push down through the pelvic bone and keep the toes pointed. A nice deep breath. Remember that downward pressure on the pelvic bone. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. You can lay your legs down when you're ready to. To come out of the pose, just press into the hands and separate the elbows. Right. We're going to bend onto the knees, hands under shoulders. Just roll your way right back into a cat pose. So walk your hands right into the tips of the fingers and look towards the lap. Big, big arch in the spine, or rounding the back, bellies up towards the back. When you're ready to, just gently lower down. We're going to swing the feet out of the way and come down onto our backs. So very gentle lowering down. Coming down onto your back. Holding on the back side of the thighs. You can roll your way down. Take knees in towards the chest. A little rocking side to side. You can close the eyes down now and internalize for the remainder of the practice, unless you need to see an example up here. Good, nice deep breathing. And let's find just a slight activation before we come into our final postures here. You could take your hands and two soft little fists and tuck them underneath your glutes. So you sort of end up sitting on the inside of the wrist and up towards the thumb. And we're going to take our knees in towards our chest. And then we're going to extend our legs up to the sky. So you don't want to be sitting on top of the hands, but they're just sort of like a little wedge that makes it easier to lift the pelvis. We're going to inhale and point our toes and lower our feet a little bit. And then exhale and flush back and release. Now, very important, take your belly and push it down towards the ground. So bulge your back into the ground will help to keep the muscles strong. Inhale takes you down and exhale finds you back up. Move with the rhythm of your breath and your body. It is especially important in this pose to be joyful because it's too easy to get serious when we start talking about the abdominals. Just relax as you practice. And then you can make it more dramatic if you need to, or some of us want to make it less, and we bend our knees and you're sort of making this big, huge circular motion with the feet. Inhaling down, exhaling, bending the knees and pulling back. And then sort of make it your own, anything that you'd like as ways to sort of flush in the body.
Beautiful job. And by now, there's this quality of intuition that begins to develop in your practice. And just by closing the eyes, you can, with calm feeling, know exactly how to move in your practice. This is the ideal state for yoga asanas, so that you become the authority. You can sort of explore and test the waters in different ways. Now, if you'd like to take this even further, roll the feet back over the head a little bit more, almost like you're going to touch into plow pose. So I'll demonstrate a little bit of a dramatic version here. It doesn't mean that the body will be coming into this version, but extending the legs back behind you. And then you just inhale and lower down. So great big leg lifts all the way. A great alternative is tranquility pose. You can look to the screen for an example. It's just resting on the upper back, and you use a little bit of holding of the bottom of your legs to rest on the upper back and just rock here. This is a great pose for healing any part of the upper back, the thoracic spine. Good. Just you and your breath here. Long, deep breath finds you in the practice. Now, our final pose is going to continue with the inversion. So you might just stay here. Some of us might even come down to rest. But if you'd like to rock up into the posture that Shannon is demonstrating, the way that you rock into this pose is by anchoring the elbows into the ground, and you push down as you sweep the feet back and up. And then your hips can catch right into the hands. So you might need a little swing to get up if you're desiring to try this pose. Just make sure that you're feeling calm and at ease, that there's no stress or struggle to hold the pose. And a good indication is how readily you can smile in the pose. If it's very hard to smile, it's typically that we're overdoing the posture. Frowns, smile, frowns strengthen the ego, but a smile strengthens the soul. And you can stay here for several breaths. Deep benefits of most of these postures come in after a couple of minutes. So it's good to take the time to relax into them. The reality is some of these poses are not available for that time period in the body that we're occupying, and that's quite all right. You just release yourself gently out of the pose. In the shoulder stand pose, knees bend to release out, and then you just roll the hips out of the hands. Now, there's sometimes an experience in our bodies that the low back begins to tighten. And it's from all of this increased twisting and flexing. The spine is trying to protect itself by holding steady. If this is happening to you, bend your knees, please, stepping 1 foot at a time onto the ground, and just wave the knees left and right, sweeping side to side. Any final poses that you're craving, now's the time to explore them. If you like a twist at the end of the practice or happy baby. Good, nice deep breath. Remembering the affirmation for the twisting pose, I open to the flow of God's life within me. What a beautiful expression. Keeping the eyes closed, energy internalized. Whenever you're ready, come down into your Shavasana. Take your time. Now is a great time for a blanket if you have one. Palms facing up by the sides of the body. Let's use this opportunity as we start to steep into our Shavasana. And really as we end out of any final poses or inquiries, when you do reach stillness, just take a moment to lightly tense the whole body. So we'll do our double breath and just lightly tense, not to the point of vibration, but every last little muscle, and then release them. You're balancing out any last little pockets of tension in the body. Deep double inhale, squeezing right up into the arms, chest, throat, the head, even the face, legs, feet, and then releasing. Again, one more time, we'll flush the body and release. Good. Center the awareness at the point where the skull is resting on the earth. Move down just a little beneath that point to the soft space of the medulla. And feel this part of the body very receptive. There's a beautiful affirmation for another pose. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. And that's the energy we'll take into our Shavasana. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. One more time, we'll repeat. Centering now awareness at the point between the two eyebrows. Feel this grace, calming every cell in the body. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. offer myself fully into the flow of grace. Feel grace flowing through you, into you, around you. Before moving any muscles, like you are lying on the surface of the ocean, looking up towards the sun. Feel yourself held in this moment, deeply relaxed. When you're ready, you can begin to invite the awareness back to the body, entering through the base of the skull, filling into the brain, all the way down the body, through the throat and shoulders, chest and arms, the belly, the hands, the hips, thighs, knees, calves, and feet. When you're ready to draw a deep inhalation, inhale through soles of the feet, up the legs. Expand the belly, rise to the spine, free the arms up overhead along the earth, and continue that expansive breath, reaching nice and tall, and releasing. Nice deep breath again, inhaling, pointing toes, expanding through the length of the body. Wiggling fingers and toes, activating as you wake fully into this moment today. And slowly draw hands down. Knees can come up in towards the chest. We'll take a little rocking side to side. Eyes closed if you don't need them otherwise, so that you can really feel the shift in the consciousness, the awareness of the inner body. We'll roll off to our right side when you're ready. And then you can begin to press your way up comfortably, and we'll take our transition in the seated posture. As you are arriving, pull the muscle of the glutes out of the way so that you can sit comfortably. You might have a blanket wrapped around you. Just take a moment to rock side to side so that you can feel each of the sits bones plugging down into the earth. And you feel connection rise up through the navel, lifting through solar plexus, right into the heart, calm to the throat, rising to the point between the two eyebrows, and then finally lifting through crown of the head. Palms face up on the lap. Relax the whole body. Let's just bathe the field around us. So you rub the palms together. Take a nice deep breath in. Turn the palms out and very gently release the arms out and around, creating a nice, strong, protective bubble of light around the physical body. Again, rubbing the palms when you're ready. Just take a deep breath in and just trace that circumference, This bubble is semi-permeable, letting in all goodwill, all loving thoughts, protecting us from ill will. Just join the hands into the heart and feel the presence that is within us and around us. Let's allow a moment here in closing to send goodwill and love to our brothers and sisters around this planet, wishing them good health, wishing them inner peace through times of challenge, and joyful expression even through life's trials. Does anyone specifically that you'd like to pray for today? Just either say their name or silently bring their presence into this moment. We'll say Paramhansa Yogananda's healing prayers. Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
Thou art omnipresent.
Thou art omnipresent.
Thou art in all thy children.
Thou art in all thy children.
Manifest thy healing presence
Manifest thy healing presence
in all souls.
in all souls.
Rub the palms together. Seeing that as you extend your palms, beautiful white light going out into this world, into the hearts of all beings everywhere. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Palms can join back together. Peace, peace, peace to all beings. May we all find our way back home to our inner sanctuary of peace and joy and bliss. In the prayer going forward through our day today, may we identify ourselves with our soul qualities, not our mistakes. Those aspects of us that are loving and kind and wise. As the essence of who we are, we identify ourselves with them. Quick to celebrate the times that we are stepping into the light. May we celebrate this in others as well. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all very much for joining practice today. Take your time coming back. A great time to meditate right now. If you don't have other things to do, we'll see you soon for those of us joining at another time.